Ice cream conversation. Ice cream conversation. Let's go. Forever on the grind all day, every day. Ice cream combos, always real, they never play. Download the podcast, listen on any day. Why didn't I do this sooner? Only thing you ever say. Xaviera, best host of all time. All of the faithful listeners will say they never lie. Check every story they run, like me with the rhymes. When other shows report anything, it should be a crime. Entertainment news, yeah, I gotta get mine from ICC, and you should be inclined to do the same if you got half a mind. I do co-sign this lady to shine like Frankenstein. Cut it the day design. IceCreamCombos.com. Tune in, yeah. This influence by IceCreamCombos.com.
What's up, ICC friends? Welcome to the Ice Cream Convos podcast, where we serve delicious scoops of entertainment and celebrity news. I am your host, Xaviera, and I am blessed, highly favored, and Tekashi 6ix9ine ain't told on me yet. So I'm out here living my best life. So thank you so much for tuning into today's show. I just want to give a shout out to everyone who listened to last week's episode. It was so good to be back, and for me to go in and see all of the listens and the comments and the feedback from all of my ICC friends and supporters, it just made me be like, okay, well, next Wednesday, it's about to go down again. You heard me? It's going down again. So I'm very, very excited. Today's episode is sponsored by WordFit Apparel. Now, WordFit Apparel is a premium faith-based brand, and it encourages spiritual fitness, and it lets you look good while doing so. So visit wordfitapparel.com today and tell Angel Zavi sent you. Okay? Now, this episode of the Ice Cream Convos podcast is dedicated to all of the girls who purposefully stand pigeon-toed when they take photos. Y'all know who you are. You know ain't nothing wrong with your feet, but the minute it's time to take a picture, you tilt your head to the left and you turn both of your toes in to try to give that little pigeon-toed look, and you arch your back so your booty look like it's popping. So shout out to all of you. It's taken me time to kind of perfect that pose, and I'm not really good at it, so I just let it go. But shout out to all of you who have nailed it. So today's podcast, we have a lot to cover. No, I always say we have a lot to cover, but I really feel like once I start talking that we really don't have a lot to cover. But I want to talk about this 11-year-old boy who made his way 200 miles down the road to meet somebody he was talking to on Snapchat. I want to talk about Aviana Weaver. I also want to talk about the Texas man who tried to get a divorce all by his lonely. And we must convene, ladies, especially us ladies, we must convene and have a conversation about Nicole Murphy. It's time to hide your kids, hide your husbands, because Nicole Murphy out here smashing everybody. So we need to go ahead and talk about that. But before we get into that, I just want to remind everyone to download the Ice Cream Convos app. It is the easiest way for you to access all things Ice Cream Convos. You can access our university, our social media handles, the site, our Patreon, anything that you want Ice Cream Convos. It is in one place, just neatly tied in a beautiful bow, which is also known as an app for your use and just your pleasure and just for your happiness. It's all about being happy. Just, self-love. That kind of went to the left. I mean, there are some apps that can lead to self-love, if you know what type of self-love I'm talking about. But anyway, let me get back on track. So just download the Ice Cream Convos app. If you are interested in becoming a blogger and doing what I do, visit scooponblogging.com and you can find out everything that you need in order to get started in your career as a blogger or entrepreneur, or, to launch your online business, whatever you need. ScoopOnBlogging.com. If you want to get to know me better, because who wouldn't want to get to know me? I'm your cyber cousin. But if you want to get to know me better, if you want to reach out to me to see how I could possibly help you, just get into this career, visit XavieraBryant.com. All right. So now let's go ahead and get into the show. First thing I want to talk about is this 11-year-old child. Now, this one kind of rocked my mind and just rocked my world because I am currently raising and I'm in love with my 11-year-old daughter. So I'm looking at her thinking to myself, could this really be you? Could you do something like this? Well, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, but you should have read it on the Ice Cream Convos site already. An 11-year-old boy, South Carolina, little lad in South Carolina, was talking to a man on Snapchat. And apparently at some point in time during this conversation, they made the decision that this 11-year-old little boy was going to go live with this man. Okay. This 11-year-old child took his brother's car and drove 200 miles. Now, just hold on. I need y'all to hear me loud and clear when I say this. This child drove 200 miles from Simpsonville, South Carolina, to Charleston, South Carolina. An 11-year-old little boy in his brother's car, unattended, by himself, drove 200 miles, drove for 3 hours, using a GPS to try to get to some random ass man's house that he was chatting with on Snapchat. So let me tell you how Jesus took the GPS. This little lad was driving down the road on his way to go see this strange danger man. Okay? And at some point as he was going down the road, Jesus just snatched the GPS and it stopped working. And the GPS system went out. And when the GPS system went out, for one, the little boy didn't know where he was going. And for two, it erased the man's address. So the little boy couldn't even try to re-up and use MapQuest or whatever else is out there to try to get to this man's house. Little man got busted out when a police officer was just sitting in his cruiser about 12:35 in the morning, probably on Tumblr, looking for the leftover porn that's left behind after Tumblr cleaned out, right? He looks over and little man pulls up alongside of him, just driving. He looks over and sees an 11-year-old little boy behind the wheel of a car. He like, hold up. So he pulled little man over, talks to the young lad, and the little boy came clean. He was like, look here. I'm just on my way to go see the big homie and that I met on Snapchat, and my GPS went out. And the little boy told the police officer he was planning to go live with this fool. A grown man that he met on Snapchat, he was planning to go live with this man. Okay. So the GPS went out, he got lost, and here he is milling around Charleston, and a police officer happens to find him. Thank God for Jesus, right? Okay, so little boy comes clean and everything. Meanwhile, back in Simpsonville, his dad is filing a missing persons report on his 11-year-old son who disappeared in the middle of the evening. Now, the little boy was spotted about 12:30 in the morning. He had been driving for 3 hours, so if I do my math, little man left the house about 9 o'clock that night. Which makes sense because most 11-year-olds go to bed between 9 and 10 or 11. So he probably pretended to go to bed. His dad was none the wiser, thought little man was in the bed. His dad went on about his business, went in to check on him because, that's what parents do. We check on our babies, or either we just watch them sleep like peaceful little angels because that's the only time that they are quiet and acting like they got some good god darn sense. But anyway, enough about me and my life. So he probably just went in the room to check on little man and he was gone. He was gone. So I just can't wrap my mind around the fact that I struggle driving through the city of Atlanta. Okay, all these turns and these people and they traffic and folks walking in the street. This little boy drove 200 miles, 3 hours. Shout out to the tank, because the little boy must have had a full tank of gas. Driving for 3 hours in his brother's car to go meet a complete stranger. That makes my soul scared. It frightens my soul to the core. So they call little man. Little man gave up his government, gave up his dad's name, gave up the phone number, and the police officer contacted his dad. Now his dad and the other brother whose car he stole, they got to ride 3 hours to go get this little youngin' because he was on his way to go meet some stranger that he met on Snapchat. But here's the thing. Apparently, because I'm not, well versed in the snapping and the chatting, but after you read a message on Snapchat, it disappears, right? Is that what happens? It disappears. Okay. So the man's message to the little boy with the address in it was gone because it disappeared. It was out of the GPS thing because I guess the GPS thing just did its thing. But the police released the little boy back into his father's custody, and they kept the GPS or iPad or tablet, whatever he was using. I think he was using like some type of external tablet for GPS. So they kept a tablet to run analysis on it to see if they can do some, digital footprinting or some, what is it called? Like, I think it's called like digital forensics or whatever, to try to find out who this pervert is that had an 11-year-old child trying to get to him because they were going to, quote unquote, live together. Thank God for Jesus. If that little boy had made it to that man's house, I would probably be telling you a totally different story right now. But I am just, y'all watch your kids. Just keep a close eye on your youngins. And if they do have a social media account, please, 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 please keep both thumbs on it at all times. Destiny asked me for a Snapchat and I told her, hell no, to the no, no, no. And then I broke it down all the way at the end like, hell to the no. No, we ain't doing no Snapchat. That junk is come and it disappeared too quick. I knew Snapchat was a bad thing when Draymond Green Snapchatted his penis all across social media. I ain't doing it. I'm not messing with her with no Snapchat where her posting stuff that's disappearing or people sending her stuff that's disappearing. No, ma'am. You're going to get this Instagram right here. And only because you are a dancer and your dance school and your dance sisters are on Instagram. But you're going to get this Instagram. And I'm going to link it to my Instagram where I can log into yours or log into mine on any given Sunday. I set up notifications. Anytime someone sends her a DM, I get the notification first. I see the DM before she does. So lo and behold, I done had to tell off a few of her little classmates for trying to be funny. But if you're going to open your children to the world of social media, the good, bad, and ugly of it, please keep a pulse on what's going on. Don't be out here being Ray Charles to the bullshit. You got to know what's going on with your babies. This right here, I can't even imagine waking up in the middle of the night, finding out my child is somewhere in South Carolina with my car and she 11. So y'all, let this be a lesson. I try to just find the lesson in everything. Just let this be a lesson. Keep an eye on your youngins. Hide your car keys. And keep a close eye on their social media. And if you just don't think they are mature enough to handle social media or handle it, just keep them off of it. They don't need to have it. It's a want. It's not a necessity. Okay. So parent to parent, keep your eye on that thing. Okay. So I guess since we're already here, I guess this would be a great time to segue into Aviana Weaver. Aviana Weaver is a 17-year-old teen who went missing last week. Now, I know some of y'all looking at me like, Zavi, she was not missing. Missing? You sure missing? Apparently, it turns out, well, let me just tell you the story. Aviana told her mama she was going somewhere and just never came back home. Okay. And then she was technically missing at that point in time, right? Can we all touch and agree she was missing? Okay, she was missing. Her mom was posting stuff on Facebook. She was making, appearing on the news and so on and so forth. And she said that investigators told her that Aviana's photos had showed up, pornographic photos, mind you, had showed up on sex trafficking websites. So now my heart is just in my belly like, oh, Lord, they done got the baby. Lord, they got the baby. And so, searches intensified. I believe GoFundMes were launched. It was a whole lot going on in an effort to bring Aviana home. And so lo and behold, you can always count on social media because those online sleuths, is that how you say it? Sleuths? It makes my mouth feel weird when I say that. I might need to pick a different word. But anyway, the online investigators found Aviana in Philly. Aviana was in Philly. It was a video showed her and another young lady. They were rocking like they little crop tops and poom shorts. And they looked to be having a jolly old good time. They were laughing, dancing, twerking. Looks like they were in front of some type of bodega or something. And they were just living it up. And people were like, oh, this is what you consider missing. This is what you consider missing. And I really, really, truly, honestly fought every urge in my body to go back and forth with people that day. Because when your child is not at home, or when you have no idea on earth where your child is, they are missing. Whether or not they chose to walk away, or they got snatched away, or airlifted, whatever it is. If your child you have no idea where your child is, they are missing. Okay. Even if they ran away, they are missing until they are found. And so it just kind of baffled my mind that people were like trying to do the apples and oranges thing with it. At the end of the day, the girl's mama didn't know where she was. But did she? Now there's this whole conspiracy theory going on social media claiming that Avianna and her mother worked together to come up with this rich harebrained scheme to lure people out of their money through GoFundMe. I'm not buying it. I mean, I know stranger things have happened. I'm just not buying that. When I saw Aviana's mama, I saw a woman who was scared to death and wanted her daughter back home. I don't know what the circumstances are between Aviana and her mama. I don't know what her home life is like. I don't know what their relationship is like. But Aviana is still a minor. She's still 17 years old. She still ran away. Whatever is going on, this young lady still needs some type of help, some type of counseling. And the pornographic pictures on the sex trafficking site still weren't addressed. And I saw some comments and some people saying, oh, she bout that life. That's what she want to do. And that's what she... So even if she's 17 years old and it needs to be addressed and helped in some way, shape, or form. Hold on, y'all. Let me turn off my air conditioner. It's all loud. Okay, I'm back. So stories like this always mess with me because for one, I'm a parent. For two, I have two daughters. And sometimes as a parent, you can put your heart, soul, the best of you, and even the worst of you, inadvertently into your children. And you just want the best for them. And sometimes they go left. And when they go left, you do everything possible in your power to get them back on the right track. So with that being said, I just send out prayers to Aviana. I send out prayers to her mama and her family. And whatever's going on in there, just Jesus, please fix it. Because I mean, it's a deeper story to this story. And, stories like this also mess with me because I want to know more. And I guess okay, I'm a little bit nosy. Okay. I'm not afraid to admit I'm a little bit nosy, but at the same time, you want to make sense of it. You want to make it make sense. And you want to, understand, what could have led a young lady to just simply walk away from home and turn off her phone, deactivate her phone, and just be out there just kicking it with the homies and twerking and want the other girl that she was with had on some shorts so short you could actually see her butt crack. And I'm just like, what is really going on right here? And so just send up a prayer and let's try our best not to judge, even though it's so easy to look at things and try to judge and just fight the spirit of judgment. And if y'all find out anything else, just keep me in the loop because, the family is now asking for privacy and so on and so forth, which is understandable because they got a lot of healing to do over there. A whole lot. Speaking of healing, because my segues are seriously on point today. You ever been in a relationship you just wanted to get out of, but you really didn't know how to go about getting out of it? You in your Donnell Jones, you know what I'm saying? That when you love someone, you just don't treat them bad. A situation kind of like that, right? Well, there was a Texas man who literally went and filed a divorce all by his lonely and went through the entire process of getting a divorce, and his wife didn't even have a clue it was going down. Let me tell y'all about this Houston, Texas brother named Paul Nixon. Paul Nixon is accused of submitting forged documents and false information to the district court in Houston in an effort to finalize his divorce behind his wife's back. Here's what the Harris County Constable Mark Herman wrote on Facebook. On May 14, 2019, a deputy with Constable Mark Herman's office responded to the 6800 block of Crestwood Drive to meet with a complainant. She advised that her husband filed for divorce and completed the entire proceedings without her knowledge or consent, and that the court had already completed all hearings and filed the final divorce decree. Constable investigators initiated an investigation and discovered that her husband, Paul Nixon, submitted several forged documents and false information to Harris County District Court 257, including forged waiver of service. The waiver of service also included the forged signature of a notary public. He then committed aggravated perjury by testifying in District Court 257 during the final divorce hearing of the validity of these forms and the information on them. The court has since granted the motion to set aside the divorce citing due to the divorce being filed fraudulently. Your boy said, I'm a head out, and he meant it with his whole heart. How you file a whole fraudulent divorce? Your man's wanted to be single by the New Year's. He was ready. He wanted to be single and ready to mingle by the time the new year came in. He probably had a new boo he was already ready to shack up with. He ready to move on. But good grief, he couldn't sit down and have a conversation with his wife. How crazy would it feel to be married and then wake up one morning and find out you're not married no more and the divorce is finalized, it's over, it's done. Nothing you can say, nothing you can do, nothing you can even try to fight or ask for. Paul need his ass kicked twice. And so now he is on the run. So he's single and he's going to have to mingle on the run, and he's going to have to mingle real quick. Maybe I should just speed dating, maybe. I don't know. But shout out to Paul. Paul took the matter into his own hands, and now he's going to have to deal with the hands of the law. Boy, I tell you, y'all men just never cease to amaze me. Y'all get more and more creative every day. So there's a new sequel on the way. Y'all know I love movies, so every podcast we have to talk about some type of movie in some way, shape, or form. But there is a new sequel on the way, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I want or need it. But just to take all of you back down memory lane, let me just play this for you real quick before I get into this next segment.
Living, just enough.
Wesley Snipes.
We will own the city.
Ice-T. Alan Payne. Chris Rock. Mario Van Peebles. Christopher Williams. Vanessa Williams. Tracy Camilla Johns. And Judd Nelson.
This is Detective Nick Peretti, big crazy jarhead motorcycle freak reject cop just like you, Scotty.
On the streets, there's a fine line between wrong and right, good and bad, between those who enforce the law
It is a war out there.
and those who break it.
Gone are the days of selling on the street corners, dark alleyways, and the back rooms of some bummy-ass bar. We ain't with that no more.
In a city where survival depends on friends,
It's always business, never personal.
on family,
We gotta look out for one another.
on trust, on loyalty, on power.
Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am!
A family out to run a city are up against cops who know its streets.
This ain't business. This is personal.
This is big business. This is the American way.
Oh, yeah. Listen, New Jack City. Can y'all believe it's been 28 years since New Jack City came out? And I had to play that trailer because I had to walk all of us back down memory lane. I remember seeing New Jack City in the theaters, and I remember, ooh, I wanna sex you up. Remember? Color Me Bad. Shout out to Color Me Bad. But anyway, it's been 28 years since New Jack City came out. Well, here we are in the year of our Lord, 2019, and Malcolm Mays, an actor from Snowfall and a filmmaker, has decided he is going to create a sequel to this classic film. Now, do we need this? Do we want this? I mean, it's been 28 years. Usually sequels come out within 48 months, maybe, maybe a year or two, but we're talking 28 years later. And just, y'all remember last week when I told you the reason why Hollywood keeps recycling films is because the people who have a seat at the table don't have no new ideas. And I'm still using poor grammar, but here we are. 2019, and we are talking about a New Jack City sequel 28 years later. What does a New Jack City sequel look like? I mean, what would you want to see? What can we do with this? Is it Nino Brown's side chick baby? Because you remember his main girl couldn't have babies. That's why he was messing with the girl on the side. So did the girl on the side have a baby? And now we got Nino Brown Jr. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, instead of getting on the block selling drugs, is he going to be selling it through Cash App? I mean, what are we going to do with a New Jack City sequel in 2019? I'm just asking. And probably by the time we see it, it'll be 2020, 2021, because Malcolm Mays is simply just writing the script. We still don't have a director. It is going to probably be housed at Warner Brothers, but still, I mean, what do we want this? Do you want it? Do you need it? I can't hear you. Tell me loud and clear. But I'm just saying. But I'm not here to take an opportunity away from someone or, to dog somebody who's trying to bring something to the table. But can we just get some fresh ideas? All I'm asking for is a fresh idea and a new concept. That's all I'm asking for. But y'all let me know. Drop down in the comments or email me or do whatever it is that you guys do when you reach out to me after listening to the podcast. Let me know. Do we want this New Jack City sequel 28 years later? I mean, do we really want it? I mean, if I'm just here for living just enough. Listen, Joe Levert and them killed that. I'm not mad about that. All right, so let's get to the topic at hand. Today's episode of the Ice Cream Convos podcast is titled What Had Happened Was, and it is inspired by the true life story of Nicole Murphy running around with Lela Rochon's husband, Antoine Fuqua. Now, you may recall Nicole Murphy made headlines all summer 19 after she was spotted in Italy booed up with Antoine Fuqua, a very married man. Matter of fact, he and Lela Rochon have been married for 20 years, to be exact. So these pictures hit the internet and everybody like, wait a minute, hold on. Wait, what? Did Lela and Antoine break up and ain't nobody tell me? Did I not get that tweet? Did I not get that call? Did I not get that DM? What is going on? Why is Nicole Murphy over in Italy in a skimpy bikini locking lips with Lela Rochon's husband? So it hit the internet, blew up. Lela Rochon immediately packed her Instagram bags and got the hell out of Dodge. Sis shut down her page. She was gone. So I felt so bad for her because I know it. I can't even imagine that level of embarrassment and hurt at the same damn time. Publicly, you finding out the same time everybody else finding out when pictures of your man, your husband, your baby daddy hit the internet of him kissing fine ass 51-year-old Nicole Murphy over in Italy. And listen, I'm 40-something years old. Yeah, I'm gonna hit y'all with the something. I'm 40-something years old, and I got sense enough to know when I see a kiss that's just a hey boo kiss and a you gonna get this punani tonight kiss, or you done got that punani kiss. And those were some punani kisses between Nicole Murphy and Antoine Fuqua. So Nicole Murphy decided that she was going to go on the Wendy Show just to set the record straight and clear the air. When I tell you this may have been possibly the biggest disservice that Nicole Murphy has ever done to herself, I just want to roll this beautiful bean footage and let you listen for yourself. Listen to a clip.
Nicole was a hot topic, she still is, for kissing a married man. Antoine, no, that is not a, no, Nicole.
No, not like that.
No.
No, I'm talking about,
that wasn't
a kiss. It was a mwah.
Okay. Okay.
It was a frozen in time pic.
So this is Antoine Fuqua, and we know him from producing, directing. He's a big deal in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And you two were supposed to, this picture took place in, oh, that's his wife. Oh, wait, no. No, wait.
I know. Trust me, Wendy. Trust me. I wish it didn't happen.
Okay. Repeat where this happened.
Well, I think it was a moment where I should have thought more through the situation, made better judgments, So it's something that I apologize for.
Okay. First things first. A lie don't care who tell it. Secondly, Nicole Murphy hit Wendy with the side chick script. You know, the side chick script. Oh, yeah, I just should have had a better lapse in judgment. I made a mistake. It never should have happened. Ladies, do your research. Sis, don't tell me to do my research, because I did my research and I knew that Antoine Fuqua was married to Lela Rochon for over 20 years and they got 2 youngins. So you don't have to tell me to do my research. You need to do your own research. And it's so funny because as she sat and talked to Wendy, I was looking at a 51-year-old, 51 mind you, so she old enough to know better. She half a century old. Secondly, she fine as frog hair. Gotta give her that. But her whole demeanor reeked of, okay, now what I'm supposed to say when I go out there is just say this, stick to these points, say this, say this, say this. Just try to get the audience to empathize with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a glorified side chick at this point. So we have to try to go ahead and milk this to the best of our abilities to sell these necklaces and bathing suits you got. Okay? All right. Ready? Teamwork. All right. Go get him, Nicole. Nicole went out there and literally played herself. But shout out to Wendy, because Wendy is very, very messy. But Wendy was not letting Nicole try to slip her no BS and slide through the cracks with her side chick script. Nicole went out there and basically tried to downplay it to a simple pet kiss. Sis, you tried to play it down to a simple pet kiss. She's called it a moment. It was something that never should have happened. But sis, you had a couple of those moments, because Wendy even pulled out another picture of you in a totally different position and a totally different setup, kissing Antoine again. So then at that point, she tried to wrap her hands around Wendy's neck, because now you out there in the street, sis. Now what you gonna say about that? She continually stuck to her script. I apologize. I'm this, I'm that, I made a mistake. It was a lapse in judgment, and so on and so forth. I probably should have thought the situation through more. Yeah, like what part didn't you think about? The part that he was married, the part that he had a wife at home. Here's what else I found interesting. Nicole smashed Antoine Fuqua, allegedly. But as far as I'm concerned, she smashed. And I'm going to tell you why she smashed. Anytime a man misleads a woman and totally, sometimes we get got, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we be on our P's and Q's, we do our detective work, we Inspector Gadget and Penny, but sometimes we get caught slipping on our pimping, right? When a man does a woman dirty, especially when he's deceitful, we gonna air him out. Listen, at this point, it's fair game. We airing everybody out. Your mama can get it. Your cousin who lied. Your best friend who covered for you. Everybody gonna get that smoke. Nicole Murphy sat up there and wouldn't even go into detail about, well, apparently I had a different impression of what was going on. Well, what was said impression, sis? Wendy straight up asked her, did he tell you he was getting a divorce? She never said no. She said, well, obviously I had a different impression. What impression did you have? Because an impression is something that you formulate on your own based off of the actions and maybe words of someone else. He didn't tell you that. See what happened. Let's talk real, y'all. Let's get real. Y'all want to talk real with me for a minute? Cool. All right. Sis was over in Italy. She said that Antoine was a familiar face over in Italy. Oh, okay. So he just so happened to be over there the same time you was over there. Okay, cool. Hey, stranger things have happened. I'm gonna let y'all have that part. Okay. But you was standing up kissing that man. Both of y'all drinking espresso. Espresso is morning. No one drinks an espresso in the afternoon. That's morning. We just woke up. We gonna take a dip after we've been smashing all night. And I just need something to kind of wake me up because this time difference is killing us, sister. So we gonna sip this espresso. We gonna hop in this pool. And he got a towel wrapped around his waist. Don't even look like he got on trunks. So he out there with his thing swinging in the wind. But she probably wanted to throw on her cute bathing suit to show him she still got it at 51. But he already know that because he was digging in them guts. He was giving her that equalizer all night long. Allegedly. I'm just saying. This is based off of my context. And this is based off of what I know as a 40 plus woman. 40-year-old plus woman. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, you not airing him out? You just gonna keep it cute and talk about your impressions and so on and so forth? 9 times out of 10, they still in communication. 9 times out of 10, they are still in communications. They just keeping it on the low. Nicole went over there to go on a vacation with Antoine Fuqua because he about that life, because he already done had a couple youngins on Leela Rashawn throughout their marriage. But if she chooses to stay, that's her business, not mine. But we already know how Antoine Fuqua get down. The reason why I'm addressing Nicole, and a lot of times in the comments and stuff, my ICC friends are like, why you putting it all on Nicole? He the one who married. Absolutely, he's the one who married. But we already know Antoine is trash. His track record shows that Antoine don't give a what about respecting his wife, respecting his vows, respecting his family. Antoine keep a side chick on the side. But Nicole Murphy, we kind of expected a little better of you. And I guess that's why we coming down on you so hard. But apparently, according to the streets, hide your kids, hide your husband, because Nicole out here coming for everybody, man. Because Lisa Ray claims she did the same thing to her. Now that she had no problem standing 10 toes down in the ground denying on the Wendy Show. She said she ain't had nothing to do with that. She did not mess with Lisa Ray's ex-husband. Well, why weren't you 10 toes down in the ground to find out about Antoine Fuqua or give Lela Rochon that same energy? Because she wanted some Antoine Fuqua. Antoine out here making some cheese. He is out here dropping some major movies. Antoine was behind The Equalizer 1 and 2. And that's just a prime example right there. I'm not even going into anything else. We talking about Denzel Washington. We talking about blockbuster films. But Antoine is garbage. We know that. But Nicole, please don't insult our intelligence. And then she took it a step further, because a lie don't care who tell it, and said she never put out that statement saying that he was a family friend. Oh, well, B. Scott wasn't having that, because B. Scott slid right over to his site and posted the text message between him and Nicole, where Nicole clearly straight up told him that no, they're just friends. Antoine's a family friend. So now Nicole done got caught up in her lies in the streets of the blogs and on national television. And I'm sure Lela Rochon is somewhere just rolling her eyes and eating some fat-free popcorn. I don't know, but it is what it is. And it's very sad because Lela left social media, and I'm pretty sure her friends was like, girl, it's all right. Come on, just give it a little bit of time. You know, social media go after you for a little bit and clown you for a little bit, but then just wait a little bit and come on back. Sis was offline for 2 months and then came back with the God is good stuff and posing pictures and stuff when she was out there for Magic Johnson's 60th birthday soiree, living her best life, posting photos with her friends, smiling, cheesing. Antoine was nowhere to be found. He probably was on vacation with the next chick, I'm just saying. But it's just really sad. Listen, if Antoine, if you don't want to be in the marriage no more, do like our friend out in Texas and just go on down there and forge your documents and get out the marriage. I'm just saying, like, why continually put this woman through the hurt and pain and embarrassment if you're not ready to be the husband that she deserves? And then he's out here cheating with Nicole. Now, I know Nicole fine. So now people done, and I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying Nicole is fine. And she has a nice body. She looks great for her age. And then people flip that around and started attacking Lela Rochon for the changes that her body's been going through over the years. Listen, I wish that I still had the body that I had in high school. I hated my body in high school because I was like, I got these little boobs and I just wish I was more shapelier than the other girls. And now I would give anything under the sun to get that little ragtag body I had back in high school. But I mean, it happens. We grow, our bodies change, our metabolism just says, I'm a head out. And we end up looking a little different than we had planned sometimes. And some of us are able to put in the work and the effort to keep that thing snatched. I ain't one of them. I just ain't. But I do my best to dress up what I got. You know, I try to make it look good. I put on my padded bra. I put on my body shapers. I put on my jeans that, you know, lift my booty up a little higher than it usually is. And you just work with it. But there was no reason for the public to shame or body shame Lela Rochon because her husband trash and he running around with a 51-year-old woman who could put a 22-year-old to shame. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. But again, I'm not in their home. I don't even know what their relationship is like. They may just be staying married just because they don't want to split up the assets. We don't know. But if that is the case, then just move a little better. My main question is, who is the paparazzi that knew Nicole was over there flexing with Antoine Fuqua to get them pictures? Because they timed them pictures perfectly. I wonder if it was the same photog who was out in France catching Carmelo on that boat with that young chick. I don't know. It is what it is. But, you know, Nicole, you ain't got the lie to kick it. And sis, I don't even look at you the same because you were better off just coming on the show and just spilling tea the right way or not coming at all. Because then she started trying to blame social media. I'm sorry. How is it our fault that you got busted in Italy, laid up with somebody else's husband? How is it social media's fault? She claims social media lied and made up all these narratives surrounding her and Antoine, that she and Lela were good friends and that she used to go to their house and for dinner and that she was at their wedding and all that. Sis, all of that is irrelevant. The one thing that stands, regardless of if a lie was told on social media or not, the one thing that stands is you was in Italy with that married man and y'all was laying up and y'all was kissing and y'all probably was equalizing all night long. Nothing that is said on social media will change those facts right there. So you could try to deflect, divert. Oh, squirrel, look, squirrel. You can do all that to us if you want to, but the fact still remains is you are a half a century old and you know better than to be over there laying up with somebody's married man and talking about it was a poor lapse in judgment, or you probably should have thought it through or did your research. A simple Google search, Antoine Fuqua married, would have popped up Leah Rashawn 1991 and you'd have been done. Boo, I don't see a divorce date on here. What we doing? What you? Okay, I'm gonna need you to go ahead home and sort that thing out with your wife, because I ain't the one. It could have been done right there, but you wanted it. You wanted it. You wanted it, Nicole. Listen, I ain't going to never act like I ain't been in a situation where, you just wanted it, but you got to be wanting it with the right person. Okay. So with that being said, ladies, hide your kids, hide your husbands. Nicole Murphy out here smashing everybody. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's podcast. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. As always, download the ICC app, subscribe to the podcast. We're on iTunes, Spreaker, YouTube, Spotify. We out here. So wherever you are listening to the podcast, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the positive feedback. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing the podcast, and just thank you for being so awesomely you. So until next week, have a fantastic week. Join me Friday night for our Facebook Live Friday night chat. It will be going down. And don't forget, if you're interested in, blogging or doing what I do, visit scooponblogging.com. If you want to know more about me, if you want to connect with me, if you want to see how I can help you do what I do, visit XavieraBryant.com. And in the meantime, icecreamconvos.com for all your delicious scoops of entertainment and celebrity news. Love you guys. Stay cute, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Ice cream conversation. Ice cream conversation.